So the other day, I went to go get a blood test. I had to find out if I have the AIDS. No, that's not true. I just said that because it's impossible for me to say the two words blood test without following it by saying AIDS because I'm immature. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about this, okay? This is a real story. This is a real thing that happened. So I went to get a blood test, okay? Not because I am heavily invested in my health or anything like that. The reason why I went to go get the blood test is because I didn't want to argue with my mom. She just said, go do it. So I was like, what? All right, sure. I mean, I don't care. I'm not the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Nothing's going to happen if there is something wrong with my blood test. So, I don't know. I also think that in life, I don't believe in Western medicine. Who is the government to tell me that I need to check my blood? No, I'm just kidding. So, I don't know. I think that you shouldn't stress yourself out too much worrying about your health. People check their cholesterol, this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. Health is what you feel inside your heart, okay? Your heart. It's just like my cat. The veterinarian people, they will often want you to, let's get a checkup every 2 days. Make sure you're brushing your cat's teeth. Make sure you're checking your cat's nutsack. Oh, make sure you do this, that, and the other. You know what you're doing is you're adding undue stress. I don't know if undue is the right word, but you're adding unnecessary stress. I try to sound smart by saying undue, and then it backfired on me. You're just adding unnecessary stress, so I don't believe in blood tests and stuff, but moving on. I did it to appease my mom because I'm a man-child here, okay? I don't own my own property. I have to live in my childhood. You already know. I'm not going to go into that right now. So I went to go get a blood test, okay? I'm there. I walk in. The place is packed. Back to back to back, sick, disgusting creatures. It was so bad that, like, I walk in and then I give the lady at the desk my information and stuff, and she's like, okay, thank you, and why don't you have a seat? And I looked around and I was like, have a seat where, my guy? There's no seat to be had. There was nothing, okay? There was nowhere to sit. So what I chose to do, I chose to, there was a room adjacent to the waiting room that was filled with all the people that clearly have issues. I wouldn't need to get a check if I was them. If I was the doctor and these people walked in, I would just be like, yeah, you have it. You got it. Whatever it is you came to find out, you definitely have it. Just by looking at you. You're coughing. You just look gross. It looks like you haven't showered since Obama was president, first term. You just look custy, bro. You look disgusting. You have it. You definitely have it. Don't waste my time. Don't bother getting a checkup. The results are in. You all have the... So I chose to stand. It's like there was not... It's part of the waiting room, but it's not really part of the waiting room. It's just like a room adjacent to it. There were no seats. But the line was so long because the Canadian government is not doing a good job, and Marcus Carney is doing a terrible... Yeah, the waiting room is just really long. So I stood there, and there was one dude ahead of me who had the same idea. He decided he was going to stand as well. Now, this is the interesting thing. This is the whole point of this video. Usually, when I have to go anywhere, especially with a place with the word waiting in the title of the place, waiting room, because I am an adult and I am of reasonably intelligent caliber, I don't know how you would say that, I usually tend to bring a book or a Kindle of some kind. I am quite disciplined with not relying on the usual things that people do, which is what I want to get into today. The guy ahead of me, no exaggeration, okay? I watched this man scroll on his phone for 1 hour. I was standing in the room beside the waiting room for 1 hour. And for 1 whole hour, I watched a man scroll on his phone. Now, I got to be careful how I word this because I don't want to make this seem like, I watched him, like it was like Clockwork Orange, and I was like deeply invested in the situation. I was reading my book, okay? I'm working on, there's a new translation of Musashi that just came out in March, I believe. Yes, March, last month. So I'm finished volume 1. I'm working on volume 2 right now. There's 3 volumes, I believe. It's going well. And the thing I love, just as a side note, what I love about the Kindle, okay, and I'm not sponsored by anyone. My channel gets 2 views by 2 viewers most of the time. What I love about the Kindle is that if the book is like this heavy, War and Peace. I mean, I got a couple of books here I could show you, but I'm too lazy to do this. But if the book is super heavy, right? Like picture the dictionary, just a tome. It doesn't matter because the Kindle is like this. The Kindle is like a piece of paper, okay? You don't need to worry about, like, all your excuses about why you don't carry around a book in 2026 are invalid, all right? There's no reason that you shouldn't have a book anymore. So, yeah, so I wasn't staring at the guy do his thing. I was just reading my book. But of course, naturally, because I'm a human being, you out of the corner of your eye, like peripherally speaking. Why did I put it like that? Peripheral vision, okay? I was trying to read the book, and it's like the journey of this samurai guy. It's a 3-volume book. But it's really, the thing about what I love about this book is like it slows down at moments. It's not just all like action where it's like we're going to have a sword fight. It's just samurais and it's just like a movie. There are times where it's like deeply contemplative and it's like, I don't know, just, Japanese culture. It's about sitting back, thinking about your life, having a moment of sheer poetry. There's no windscreen on the mic, so I'm going to say it again so you just feel that P. Poetry. So there are moments where you slow down, right? And I'm trying to slow down, and I'm enjoying how the author, I just love how the author, how the translator approached the text. Because sometimes he doesn't say things like how you would say it, like how a native English speaker would say it. So you have to read it a couple times. That's what reading is. You don't just read everything and get it once. I like to slow down and read a sentence and reread and think about it. I'll linger on a page. Like the Cranberries, if they were reading, I would linger on a page. But the guy ahead of me, I swear to you, okay? Out of my peripheral vision, all I could see, he scrolled. All he would do is this. One video, scroll. One video, scroll. He would not watch each video for more than 2 to 3 seconds, at best, at most. Each video, 2 to 3 seconds, scroll. 2 to 3 seconds, scroll. And the videos were not like educational or informative or important things. It was just like a monkey jumping out of a tree, a guy on a skateboard hitting his head. I'm sure that if you stopped and you asked this guy who was scrolling, what was the video? Hey, what was the video you just watched 2 seconds ago? This guy would not be able to tell you. It was not about the videos. It was just about filling a void. Just like covering this emptiness inside. He couldn't stand still for an hour, okay? Now, I watched a man scroll on his phone for 1 hour. I have to keep repeating this. I watched a man scroll on his phone for 1 hour. Think about this, okay? Instead, think about what he could have done instead. He could have called someone in his life, you know? Or better. And this is what I want to get to. The crux here. The best thing he could have done would be to just stand in place doing nothing and just thinking about his life. I think doing nothing, it would have been better in that situation than doing something that has no value. Because the doing of the nothing, at least you have like a clear mind at the end of it. You do something of no value, the scrolling. What do you get out of it? You're not relaxed. It's just not a good thing. And the other thing I want to say about this situation is this, okay? I know what it's like to scroll and just be a wasteful, degenerate individual with my phone. But something I've noticed is like when you go from attacking every thought that you might have with a phone, when you go from that lifestyle to nothing, it's amazing to me how the nothingness of life becomes a psychedelic experience. It's almost like we have attacked our brains so much that doing nothing becomes a high in itself. Doing nothing, meditating, like not even meditating, just like you don't even in today's society to achieve what I'm talking about here, you don't even have to close your eyes and chant Om and sit down weirdly. You just have to do nothing. And that in itself is like a psychedelic experience. That's how much we're attacking our brains. And I don't know, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I watched this guy scroll on his phone, watching just like entertainment. But it wasn't even entertainment. It was just garbage. Like, oh, he was like a standing Wall-E person. You know when people say like they're disappointed with men and like men are like weird and stupid these days? That this guy, this is who they're talking about. It's so embarrassing that it's like masculinity used to be like a real thing. And today, you have like a guy who's just standing, scrolling on his phone. A couple of decades ago, that guy would be reading like, John Steinbeck. Even if he wasn't reading it, he would be, trying to signal to the world, like, look, I have a book in my hand, everybody. Is there anyone in the doctor's office that would like to, be romantically involved with a guy reading East of Eden? But instead, it's just like, I'm going to shut out the world and watch monkey videos for an hour. I don't know. It hurts. It hurts to see. I think, we're living in a godless, sick society, and something, I hope there's an end to this. I just hope the collapse comes in.